I hope everybody can hear that music. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wanted, a gadgets and gear show hosted here at ohmtown.com and hosted on live at twitch.tv/ohmtown and youtube.com/ohmtown. In all of those places, you can become a fan. Follow us here, there, everywhere. Download the podcasts. So much stuff. All of it brought to you by ohmtown.com. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and along with the sentient AI, we are going to talk about these 5 articles that get aggregated into ohmtown.com. Pick your buttons to push. Private Sonic Boom. I do those periodically. Hook on gaming phones. Ford Mustang Dark Horse. And Kindle-like smartphone. It's plural, actually, but we'll talk about it on the other side. Everything's powered by ohmtown.com, like I've been mentioning, almost like an ohmtown.com turducken. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmtown citizens.
If you're not a subscriber, you're about to get hit by an ad. All right. Well, welcome to the show, co-host. Are you ready to get into these 5 articles?
I am. Let's go.
Okay, so this is the second show of 3 that we do on the weekends on Saturday. The first one is...
Okay, we start with RealityHacker, then we have Wanted, and then we have the Continuity Report.
There you go. So Wanted is about gadgets and gear. RealityHacker is about AR, AI, technology that makes you question reality because you hack it. And finally, we end the day with the Continuity Report, which is about entertainment news. So we've got 5 articles that were submitted or selected by the AI, myself, or someone else that may have submitted it via a little page right here that says, it's not here unless you're logged in, and I'm not logged in. But anyway, once you're a citizen, you can actually submit news to us. We'll evaluate it and include it in the daily because we do this every day, Monday through Friday, Non Sequitur news. And then on the weekend, we do 3 shows, the topics that we just mentioned. And then on Sunday, we do 3 different shows. All right, let's get into this. I want stuff. I won't buy stuff, but I want stuff.
Hence, Wanted.
Hence, Wanted. So Logitech MX Creative Console Review. Pick your own buttons. At least for now, your laptop or custom or desktop computer is inherently more capable than a smartphone or tablet. I don't agree with that statement. But anyway, what you lose, sticking to the classics, is a lot of interface simplicity of a phone. Using a desktop computer to its fullest means getting comfortable with keyboard shortcuts, especially if you plan on using any kind of professional creative software. That is, unless you have a macro pad. One moment. Oh, did I just disable something? So, yeah. So
For
all
those
of those
in the podcast, that was just shown.
Oh yeah, I was showing a macro pad. It's actually what I just showed was the 10 key of a 10 keyless keyboard, because that is a 10 keyless keyboard. So I use my macro pad. And I can program all of those buttons to do pretty much anything that I want. You just have to remember what they do. That's why you have things like a Stream Deck, where you can see an icon that represents a function and it makes life easier for streaming, and that right there. So this too is a macro pad. You basically can program it to do whatever you want. Ian Carlos Campbell over at pocket-lint.com, whoever it is that owns pocket-lint.com, please donate pocket-lint.com to pocket-lint.com. That would be great.
That's right. That way, Mayor Watt will not be driven nuts by the Dash.
Correct. Dashes drive me nuts. So, and I think there's a Dash car out there. That too drives me nuts. People dashing drive me nuts. I don't understand what it is, but anyway, don't dash. Everything should slow down. Slow down. Anyway, So at least for now, your laptop has all of this limitation. So you get a macro pad or shortcut keypads, have existed for ages. Whoa. Sorry. I'm working with an AI and it actually just popped up something. Well, they burst into the mainstream during the pandemic, work from home era, though largely thanks to the popularity of the Stream Deck, which is sitting right here, which was designed first and foremost for controlling live streams, but whose buttons could be customized to work with a bunch of other different applications. You actually get an interface where you can drag and drop a bunch of functionality. Logitech's MX Creative Console is a 1-2 punch meant to address the popularity of the Stream Deck. The company acquired competitor Loupedeck in 2023, seemingly with the same motivation. So Loupedeck is basically Stream Deck, just a different company.
Oh, okay, just a different company, right?
Yeah. And so they actually show like an interface, and each of these buttons on this 3x3 pad. Plus, I think page turning, I haven't seen it. They go by Logi now, or Logitech actually has a...
Oh, right. Yeah, they have a shortened form.
Yeah, as if they were Federal Express and needed to change to FedEx.
Maybe they were trying to save on all their painting of airplanes.
Sure. I'll just give that to you. Well, they say the price, availability, and specs of this essentially Loupedeck version of the Stream Deck Neo Logitech MX Creative Console launched September 2024 for $200, a higher price than the $100 you pay for the entry-level Stream Deck Neo, which was actually a fairly new entrant. The Neo line is a watered-down version of...
Oh, okay, because I was surprised that a competitor might come out with a higher price, but that makes sense. Those aren't comparable.
Not directly, no, but you can page over and get the same functionality and stuff like that. So part of the justification of the MX Creative's console's higher price is that you're actually getting two different devices for one purchase, a Stream Deck-esque keypad with 9 square buttons in the center and page forward and page back buttons so you can flip to others. There's usually a lag in all of that. Stream Deck has the same thing. Like I use Beacon as well, and Beacon has this little lag between flipping to other inputs. These devices have to interact with software on the system and then bounce back. So the dial pad works over Bluetooth and has 2 rechargeable AAA batteries, and you can charge with a USB-C cable, while the keypad needs to be wired to your computer to work, also over USB-C. The dial pad is this little thing right here. So you can program
I find it interesting that one's wireless and one's not.
Yeah, this is basically a potentiometer that says, oh, you're turning it this way, turning it that way. So it's kind of low energy, whereas the other one is actually lighting up, providing power to each individual. Right, it might be more
connected to specific applications or something.
Yeah, and you want it to respond faster than Bluetooth because any delay when you hit a button means that you could be sitting there picking your nose when you're doing a transition when you really want it to say end streaming. I know nothing about that.
That's hyper specific.
Yeah, that I don't want to talk about it. So they basically say they're mostly made of plastic, save for the dial pad's cool metal dial. They feel sturdy and have satisfying clicky buttons. That's basically the end game for me. Gotta be metal and clicky, but if it's mostly plastic, it drives me a little crazy too. Hold on a second. Oh, it must be.
Yeah, but most of them are made of plastic, I think.
Where the heck did I put my other keyboard? I have a little 40% keyboard somewhere. The heck?
Marijuana.
Anyway. What? Oh, sorry. Anyway, so they talk about what they liked about the MX Creative Console. It's fun and convenient to push buttons. I agree. The objective here is basically to make life easier. If you know that you're going to record something, if you know that you're going to scrub something. So let me, can I not go back except that way? Why not put forward and back buttons here, for crying out loud? Anyway, this button here, you can connect it to a piece of software like video editing or music editing. And when you turn the dial, you're scrubbing through the video or the audio, and then you can splice things, cut things, edit things.
Yeah, that seems like it'd be pretty handy.
Pretty cool, right? Like I would link this button here, which is a scroll wheel, so that I can amplify music or amplify the audio track in a video, so that everything is peaking at the precise point where I want it to. So you don't ever start your stream or end your stream or post a video without it hitting the peaks that you want. And obviously I think this person has no, they don't. Okay. I thought they might have my keyboard sitting on there. No. Anyway, so the objective of this one is you can program it in sets of 9x9 to do whatever you need. So if you are going to stream, you put it on the 9x9 that's for your streaming, and you don't have to click buttons. Like I right now have to click a bunch of buttons because I'm using Atom, and Atom right now isn't linked to my Stream Deck, but transitions are. So I just do transitions, and then I have to manually end my stream. That's temporary. But once you have it programmed in, the macro pad makes life easier. You can just mash the button and off you go.
Could you hook up more than one of those?
Yes. Yeah, you just select them. Well, at least for the Stream Deck. I haven't used the Creative Console, but for the Stream Deck, I can select which one is being edited and reprogram each one separately. And there's like the Stream Deck. I even have a little foot pedal down below with 3 functions, and those 3 functions can actually be stacked within each of those functions. So I can have a whole bunch of commands, like I have them turn off lights and do other transitions and stuff like that. So you never see I can do stuff. I'll give you a demonstration.
For those in the podcast, the intro or outro displayed.
Yeah. So anyway, these are actually pretty amazing tools if you are seeking to make your life easier. You don't want to futz around with keyboard commands, and you want to do more complex things with a button click away. So definitely get into these. Let's just move on. Let's go on to the next thing because we've said too much about this already.
We really want that.
Yeah, I do. I love that kind of stuff, and I'm just glad that I've already got it so that I don't have to mess with it again with somebody, a new platform. Although Logitech, if you want to send me some, I'll noodle around with it. I have no problem. Anyway, the next article, but I'm going to give my honest opinion of it. I mean, right off the bat, I don't really like that it's just grayscale. It looks like it's just grayscale. I can do full color on my Stream Deck. And that actually allows me to set things like a bright red command that says that I'm streaming or whatever. Like right now, my Stream Deck is saying that I'm on this scene. And when I want to, I can push another button and it'll transition to another scene, and it'll let me know that that's top. Anyway, so this next article that we're talking about is over in Wanted as well. For the first time, a privately developed aircraft has flown faster than sound, but I thought that, what was it? There was a passenger jet that flew.
Yeah, but that was due to climate change, and that wasn't privately developed.
Well, wait. I'm not sure about the climate change part of it, but what was the name of the jet? What was it called? Hold on.
It was a commercial airline.
Are you saying that this is like a regular old person?
Well, it might be a company or something, but yes. This is not like pick a major airline.
Oh, Concorde. Sorry, for the name slipped my mind, and I was really curious about this. So it says, for the first time, a privately developed aircraft has flown faster than sound. High above a barren California desert on Tuesday, a privately developed aircraft broke the sound barrier for the first time when Boom Supersonic's XB-1 demonstrator reached Mach 1.122. Piloted by a former U.S. Navy aviator, Tristan Geppetto Brandenburg, the XB-1 broke the supersonic barrier on 3 separate occasions before safely landing back at the Mojave Air and Spaceport, where it had taken off half an hour earlier. Let's go over to the source of this. Eric Berger for Ars Technica put the article together. If you need to go and do something, go for it. So there appears to be plenty of demand in the commercial air travel industry. So a small band of talented and dedicated engineers has accomplished what previously took governments and billions of dollars, said Boom Supersonics founder and chief executive Blake Scholl in a statement. I always take exception to that kind of stuff because it is the foundation, where we stand on the shoulders of giants to get shit done cheaper and with greater expectation of performance based on the science that somebody else has fundamentally done. Otherwise, you would need billions of dollars. It's a whole lot easier to build something. Like I said in a previous show, if somebody builds all of the doors and does all of the metallurgy and blah, 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 all you have to do is bolt it together. You got a damn car. Yeah, it's really freaking easy. So, yes, I also believe that a small band of talented and dedicated engineers can accomplish amazing things. But let's not pretend that this was done in a vacuum of
right. It's not
empirical
like
knowledge.
Flight or something.
Right.
It's still cool, and I do like the name.
Yeah, I like it too. So this prototype vehicle is a 1/3 scale technology demonstrator for a commercial aircraft the company is developing called Overture. Planned specifications for the supersonic airliner include a cruising speed of Mach 1.7 and a maximum speed of Mach 2.2, and it's intended to have a maximum range of 4,500 miles or 7,200 kilometers and carry 55 passengers, similar to the Concorde.
Okay, that's interesting.
Right? So hold on. 1 second. They refer to the Concorde as tailless, but it's not tailless. It has a tail. It's weird. Anyway, I'm trying to find the number of people that it could actually fly. 92 to 128 passengers, depending on how they were seated.
And I didn't know that. I assumed it was a much higher number, but I guess that makes sense given when it was developed.
Yeah. And it was a France and UK British Aircraft Corporation and BAE Systems development. So this was back in 1965 to 1979. So yes, previously took governments billions of dollars. Yeah, no shit. You know, you're nearly 60 years later. Yeah. Just like AI, just got a whole lot less expensive because somebody else distilled the hundreds of millions of dollars that people invested in the empirical research generators of OpenAI, who distilled all of humanity's creative efforts from history without paying people. Anyway, they say it's a stepping stone. The prototype is that 1/3 scale model. Commercial companies are attempting to revive an era of supersonic travel that came and went decades ago. French and British governments jointly developed the Concorde aircraft in the 1960s, and the Soviet Union developed the Tupolev, a supersonic aircraft, around the same time. Of course, everybody does it together, right? Because we're working all together to build a better human. Oh, never mind. Anyway.
So do you want this aircraft?
Yes. Why? Because I want to go to Europe like that instead of it taking 24 hours. Plain and simple.
I mean, that's reasonable.
But this will be dramatically more expensive than the Concorde and very, very limited. Although, let me see. I'm trying to find out how much the flights were, but I won't be able to do it justice because you'll have to account for the time value. So anyway, I think that it's great. I absolutely love it, but I don't like the implication that this is something never before seen in humanity.
So in the 1990s, the price was around $7,500,
Yeah,
which
$5,000.
is
Yeah,
a much higher price now, adjusted.
right.
But it's still pretty pricey then.
Yeah. And this is just a technology demonstrator. So when it does scale up, all of this money that they've invested in this, and they haven't said how much money they've invested in this. Yeah. Let me see.
But it looks like major airlines, if I read that correctly at the bottom, are taking orders for this. So at some point that might make this more accessible to people, but it's still not going to be cheap.
Sure. Yeah. All right, let's keep on going. The next article is over in the Wanted channel as well. These 7 unique features have hooked me on gaming phones. Regular flagship smartphones are excellent. Not me, but the author of this article. And that they're over at Pocket-Lint, but we'll get there in a minute. Regular flagship smartphones are excellent for gaming, but specialized gaming phones are like the Nubia Red Magic 10 Pro and the Asus ROG. ROG stands for Republic of Gamers Phone 9. Go the extra mile to provide top-tier experience. They use the same premium Snapdragon chips with as much power as flagships like the Samsung's Galaxy S25 line, but add several enhancements to improve gaming performance. The article, again, is over at pocket-lint.com. Saeed Wazir put the article together. And it says here, high refresh rate displays on gaming phones provide smoother graphics for demanding gamers. Gaming phones feature advanced cooling systems, large batteries, and fast charging for uninterrupted playtime. And gaming phones offer shoulder triggers for added control. So when you're holding the phone, shoulder triggers are like that.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know there were gaming phones.
Yeah. So
I mean, I know people sometimes play a game on their phone, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So they're normally designed to be facilitators of gaming, right? So they have buttons up at the corners here. So when you're holding it in landscape,
probably in more convenient locations than you might on a regular phone.
Yeah. And so they talk about shoulder triggers are more useful than you think. Use your phone like a gamepad. High refresh rate displays make everything feel snappy. Most people won't even recognize anything over 30. You can get up to 60 real easy, and maybe if you've trained yourself to detect something.
They probably only notice the other direction, right? Like compared to some low end regular phone, maybe.
Yeah, put it side by side and you'll notice. But you've got basically a 50-50 chance of guessing that it's lower or not. And it's the same thing with audiophiles. It's very few and far between that somebody who claims that they're an audiophile actually can tell the difference between a low end cable and a $10,000 cable. And this has been demonstrated time and time again. But that's not to say that you can't be trained to take advantage of a higher end refresh rate. And the way that I describe it is that it's like a flip book. And if you only have 30 bytes at the apple of the flip book, then you see the staccato movement of the character. But if you have 120 pages in the flip book, then there's more opportunity for you to detect a subtle difference and react faster.
Right. Doesn't mean that any given person will.
Right. So if you're a highly competitive gamer, then maybe you can take advantage of it. But most people wouldn't even give a shit. Pardon my language. We're trying to be family friendly, but I really screwed that up. So a 3.5 millimeter audio jack remains a convenient option. I won't even go there. Bluetooth is good enough. Advanced cooling features keep your hands or keep the device chilled, keep your hands sweaty. So basically, you just clap on a device that is either water cooled or air cooled with a big ass fan, and it, that's what I do. I like to play games on my phone and then slap on a ginormous cooling system.
Well, that might be less expensive than doing it on a larger system.
Yeah, and you can't be mobile if you're carrying around your $10,000 computer with liquid cooling and 1200-watt power supply. You need a small nuclear reactor. So bigger batteries mean that you can play it longer, and faster charging means that you can get back into the game quicker, or just not bother. You just plug in and your battery doesn't drain, and it's charging at 100 watts. Every once in a while, you unplug it if you want to have to go somewhere else. That's what I do. I actually carry around a 15-foot USB-C cable and a 100-watt wall wart, so I can just plug it in and I'm charging my device, and it's because it's basically the equivalent of a supercharger. I'm up and running a lot faster. So anyway, they talk about this stuff. They even mention 100-watt top charging speed, which can top up its massive battery in around 30 minutes. Yeah, it takes about an hour for mine. But I think everything should be this. I mean, we should really be, it's the 21st century. We should really be fast charging everything and not worrying about, the minuscule cost difference between one charging system and another in today's day and age. And then they talk about high memory capacity ensures a smooth experience. So you need more RAM to store software in the system. I'm kind of dealing with this with that DeepSeek R1 671 billion parameter model, because it's 405 gigs. And so that's actually how much RAM you should have in your device.
Yeah, so that's a little challenging.
On a personal PC, yeah. So you need server grade if you really want to take advantage of it. You can get distilled versions, which are quite intriguing to interrogate. It's pretty fun. Anyway, there you go, folks. I won't get into the prices because they're going to be relative to either your location geographically or fiscally, your socioeconomic status. I don't want to recommend a phone or a device. I'll talk about it, but I won't say, hey, you really should get this. That's just not what we're here for. We want a gaming device, a gaming phone. But the only thing that
I
really...
especially like this. This is easier for me to use than a desktop.
For sure. Yeah. Plus, I can just transfer your artificial intelligence straight onto it, and I can just set it in its stand.
Exactly.
And you can play games all day. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you don't even need those shoulder buttons because you're like, nah, I'm in the game. I am the game.
Watch out.
Yeah, you're just a tourist. I was born here. All right, let's move on. The next article is over on Four Wheel Tech, which is another show, but that's on Sundays. Driving the Ford Mustang Dark Horse R makes every other pony feel tame. Hopefully they return to their old roots. I haven't actually seen this car yet. Charlotte, North Carolina is where this takes place. Apparently, it's amazing how much more raucous you can make your car feel simply by deleting every semblance of creature comfort. That's the basic idea of the Mustang Dark Horse R, a track-only flavor of the Mustang for the dedicated Mustang Challenge Series, which will run in support of the IMSA races this year, starting with the 12 Hours of Sebring in March. Despite running the same 500 horsepower 5.0-liter Coyote engine, this thing apparently has everything else removed from it as a creature comfort. So Ars Technica...
So it's not going to have like soft seats or anything.
Air conditioning, stuff like that. No. Tim Stevens over at ArsTechnica.com put the article together, and they say that they try Ford's latest track-only Mustang. Kind of looks like a Mustang, maybe. It looks more like a Camaro to me.
It does look more like a Camaro, but at least it doesn't look like their EV that does not look like a sports car of any kind.
Yeah, Mustang E. So it says it all looks pretty tame from the outside as it sports the familiar Mustang shape that has hardly changed over the last few generations. The last few, as in maybe the last two. Even the wing is slender by race car standards, only subtly different from the one that's on the road-going Dark Horse. but you peek inside and it's basically gutted. Nothing is there.
Oh, yeah. It is pretty bare bones.
Yep. Wow. If you drive this in the snow, you'll really feel the weather because all that metal.
Right, exactly. It's going to be a little chilly.
Plus, if you're the passenger, I don't know what that is right there. That must be like a telemetry device. It looks like it might be a radio. It's not a battery, I don't think. Anyway, don't get distracted, Mayor Watt. Anyway, the engine may be stock, but it sure doesn't sound like it, with all the interior trimmings evicted and the track-only Borla exhaust fitted. The car becomes a deafening echo chamber when its Coyote is breathing. Given that its roots is in a road car, the 5.0 liter offers a smooth idle, but you can still feel it deep in your body, communicated up through the full Recaro racing seat. So this thing right here, 5-point racing harness. You're basically trapped in it. It doesn't have any creature comforts. It just pins you in so that you can't be thrown around when you're driving.
Right, so it might sound good. You might go fast. You're not going to be super comfortable.
You're not going to be comfortable. Not even super comfortable. So you're just not going to be comfortable. So needless to say, the experience left them wanting more because they really like the power of a 500 horsepower engine driving them on the straight and narrow there. Buyers of a $145,000 track toy are in for a real treat, especially those lucky enough to compete in the race series, is what they say in this article. I want this only because I want to drive fast still, but I am a responsible person now on the regular roads. Dumb when I was younger, I suppose, but I haven't had one of these cars, this type of car. I got rid of my Mustang a long time ago, and now I just putt around. I want this. Anyway, let's keep on going. Our last article is over in Wanted as well. The Kindle-like smartphone you've been waiting for actually exists. Was it okay to keep on going into the next?
Oh, yeah, it was. I mean, I can't drive the Mustang, so...
Can you burst into song about that? I can't drive.
Absolutely no.
55. Sorry. So the Kindle-like smartphone you've been waiting for actually exists. Are you a fan? Are you a fan of Kindles? Are you a fan of other e-ink devices? If so, this new smartphone might pique your interests. So I really like e-ink. I like the idea of color e-ink. Why? Because you can basically read a book or observe data, and it can persist for months and months and months if the battery is big enough. Okay. Craig Donaldson over at pocket-lint.com, which this is the first time I think that we've had this many pocket-lint articles presented.
That's an anomaly today.
Yeah. So the Minimal phone is the first Android device with an e-ink display and a physical keyboard that emphasizes mindfulness. It offers LTE support, a dual SIM tray, wireless charging, NFC payments. So it has an NFC chip in it, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which people are really chomping at the bit for that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack when Bluetooth 5 is good enough, and expandable storage, which pretty much all Android devices have. Minimal phone is a 4.3 inch e-ink display with a 600 by 800 pixel resolution, and don't worry, it may come across as a low resolution phone or display when you're looking at the numbers, but because of the nature of e-ink, it actually is pretty good. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the Minimal phone is meant to be a distraction-free phone. It runs Android 14, which means it supports many essential apps in the Google Play Store like Spotify and WhatsApp. However, it's a 4.3-inch 6 by 8 pixel resolution, 600 by 800 pixel resolution. E-ink display and octa-core MediaTek processor might be enough to deter you from downloading any games or social media platforms. Basically,
so this is basically like a don't lose focus kind of phone. I mean, yeah. Kindles, I know, have very good displays, but not what most people think of for smartphones.
Yeah, and the thing about this is the kind of smartphone that you can actually. Okay, so the benefit of an e-ink display is that it's not using power for the most power consumptive element on the device, and that is the screen, because it's backlighting and it's always refreshing. You know, 30, 60, 90, 120, 240 frames per second, full color. It's generating a lot of heat, and that heat is power, and that power is draining a battery. And the more that you have your screen brightness up and it's refreshing real-time stuff, you drain it. But e-ink, unless you're actively doing something or telling it to do something, it doesn't refresh.
Right. Like I know a Kindle has a pretty long-term charge before you need to read, and I think it's because of that.
Yep. So the phone is available in 3 different colors: Pebble Onyx and Fusion. It starts at $400, but there's a pre-order promotion to get the device for $300. There's others, an e-ink device with a few surprises. And they talk about the TCL Next Paper phones, which is a device that I have. And I think that this is great. They say TLC announced, but it's TCL announced the TCL 60XE in 2025. I don't have the 2025 model. I have last year's, which offers a paper-like color display with features called Max Ink Mode, which converts it into e-ink-like monochrome display. The 60E is exclusive to North America and starts at $200, slightly cheaper than the minimal phone. Okay. It is a more conventional phone. The minimal phone's QWERTY physical keyboard should make texting feel like you're back in 2010.
And I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but I know it seems nice to have everything all in one place.
Yeah. I prefer I would like an e-ink display over a conventional one for emergency uses. So this thing can be charged up and put in your trunk, and then if something happens to your phone, or there's an emergency of some kind, you can actually use your backup phone, because it's stored away and can be sealed. Just seal it in a waterproof bag, and whenever there's an issue, you've got this thing in an emergency. Kind of like a go bag emergency.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep. And at $200, you're paying more overall for it being attached to your cellular account than anything else. At $10 a month per device, who knows what the next price is going to be? You know, prices go up all the time. Yeah. Anyway, and it all depends on what platform you're actually using. So there you go, folks. So we are going to refresh our e-ink display, and that's going to bring us back to the front page of Wanted. And I'm going to take the AI with me when I say bye. So bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us, Hometown Citizens. We'll have another episode of Wanted next week, and stay tuned for the continuity report.
Woo-woo. 5 more articles from the continuity report. Stick around. Bye.